Hello and happy Monday, everyone. Hope you're having a great start to your week. It's time for my weekly Bobcast. And like I always say, you know where I am and you know what I'm doing and you know what day it is and what we're getting ready to do. So let's just get right into it. Tonight's topic comes from someone who asked if I would talk about the topic. So it was a topic suggestion. And if you notice the title of the broadcast, the Bobcast, it's Choose Wisely. And what exactly do I mean by choose wisely? Well, let me say it like this. I said it last week and I've said it before, that if you want to change something in your life, if your life is great and you love everything about it and there's nothing you need to change, that's fantastic. I do these Bobcasts for people looking to make some type of a change in some area of their life. And so what I want you to understand, that is, if there's something in your life that you're not happy with, if there's something in your life that you want to change, that you want to improve, or whatever it is, to accomplish, that you have to understand that you are exactly where your choices have led you. Believe it or not, everything that's going on in your life has come from a choice. Even what seem to be the smallest choices in life are things that people don't realize the effect that they have on their life. So you can choose to live your life however you want. You have free will and your ability to choose however you want to live your life. I've mentioned it in other podcasts about walking your own path, about being on your own journey, and you're free to choose everything about your path and your journey. But you cannot escape the consequences of those choices. See, because choices have consequences. Sometimes choices have great benefit, and sometimes they have terrible consequences. The problem is, especially in today's society, people want to do whatever they want without consequences. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Dusty. People want to do whatever they want without consequences. And that's just not reality. It's just impossible. You will have consequences to your decisions. And that's why you hear people talking about what's not fair, that's not right, I wish it was different. Whatever it is, they say, you see, what they're doing is they're confusing reality with their feelings and their wishes. Because they wish they could eat a pizza every day and drink a case of beer every day and not gain weight, when reality is you will. So you have to understand that all the choices that you make, even if they're small choices that may seem insignificant at the time, will affect your life in one way or another. I'm going to stop there before we go any further. We're going to be a little shorter tonight because of the Pens game. But I do want to remind everyone how to reach out to me. On Facebook, it's Bob Norman. My business page is Buff Monkey Marketing. On Instagram, it's Buff_Monkey. On Twitter, it's @Buff_Monkey. And my email is Buff_Monkey@Reagan.com. And of course, my YouTube channel is Big Norm 1963. So please keep the feedback coming, the comments, the topic suggestions, and please continue to share these Bobcasts. If you would, I noticed that Dusty already shared it. I'm not even finished yet, Dusty. So you're really on top of it tonight. Hi, Julie. So reach out to me again. Topic suggestions, share the Bobcast, give me some feedback on the topic. Whatever you care to contribute is greatly appreciated. I've been getting a lot of great feedback. Like I said, tonight's topic was a suggestion from one of my viewers. So let's get back, and I'm going to back up and just remind you what I just talked about, is that every choice that we make in our life has benefits and consequences. And you cannot escape the consequences of your decisions, no matter how unfair you think it is, no matter how much it hurts your feelings, no matter what you think or what you feel about that reality is that those decisions have consequences. And like I said, you can choose to live your life however you want, but I really think that a big problem in our society today is that everyone wants to just do whatever they want with no consequences, and that's just not reality. And see, sometimes, I will tell you this, sometimes you can fix the consequences of a bad decision. The example I can think of is that, let's say you're in a bad relationship or you're having some relationship issues because of choices you made. Well, you could change some things about what you're doing maybe and save that relationship. But understand that the turmoil you went through was the consequence. So it doesn't always mean that it's going to be finality to it. There are a lot of other consequences, business consequences. Let's say you make some really bad business decisions. Well, the consequence is you're either going to not make money, lose money, maybe go out of business. If you do something illegal, you're going to get in trouble with the law. There are just going to be consequences that are always going to be a result of the choices you make. Here's the problem with that. Our choices, it's not actually a problem with it, but our choices are usually based on our belief system. And our belief system is usually developed by our experiences. Things that we've experienced growing up, things that we've experienced in relationships. The example I just used, I see my buddy Bob Dog on here, and he and I have had some bad times in the past in that area, I know. And we've grown and learned from it, learned what we want. I mention my love, Honest to See It, every week on here. And I want you to understand that the reason that I know she's who I've been waiting for my whole life is because I've made bad decisions in that area in the past and have learned from them and knew what I deserved, what I wanted and what I needed, but mostly what I deserved. And there she was. And I'm not screwing that up for anything because I've learned that lesson from those bad experiences. See, here's how that relates. See, good decisions come from experience. But unfortunately, experience a lot of times comes from bad decisions. So you make some dumb decisions and you suffer some consequences, and then you learn from it, and now you make good decisions. And that's just usually how it goes. So, and I'm going to say this. I know that there are people on here who may be watching or will watch who may want to argue with me about this point, okay? You may want to say that people don't choose to be broke. People don't choose to be overweight or unhealthy. People don't choose to be divorced, okay? But they have made choices that have led them to where they are now, okay? They didn't maybe sit down and say, okay, I want to be overweight and broke in 5 years. Most times, the problem is that they didn't choose to plan their life. They didn't choose to get a better education. They didn't choose to make good business decisions or start a business. They didn't choose good decisions where it comes to their relationship or when it comes to their health. How many people do I see walking around that could stand to lose 100 pounds and they got a McDonald's bag and a 32-ounce Slurpee in their hand? Your choices have consequences. So you can argue with me, maybe, that people didn't choose to be in those specific situations, but I will argue with you that their choices and a combination of their choices have led them to be where they're at. And if you sat down and looked back over choices that person had made, if they did an honest assessment of themselves and how they behaved and the things that they've done, choices they made, most of the times, and we're taking out health issues or things like that. There are sometimes things that are just out of our control, but most of the times you can look right back to decisions that were made that led right up to where they're at. So there really is no argument. You're entitled to your own opinion, just not your own facts. That's what I always tell everyone. Here's the beautiful thing about choices and about understanding that there are consequences to your choices, is that you can change the things you don't like about your life simply by choosing to change them. Once you make that decision, there's my girl Jen. Hi, sweetie. Once you make that decision to make a change in whatever area or aspect of your life you want to change, you will change that part of your life. You cannot do it without deciding to, and unfortunately, a lot of times it comes down to where you're sick and tired of a situation. You're sick and tired of being broke. You're sick and tired of being exhausted and unhealthy, or whatever the case might be. Whatever example that you want to use that that you may identify with, but you can choose to change that part of your life by making a decision to do it. So I'm going to leave you with that. You can change the things you don't like about your life simply by choosing to do so. I want to remind you too, one more time, please share these Bobcasts. Big Norm 1963 on YouTube, Bob Norman on Facebook, Buff Monkey Marketing on Facebook, Instagram, Buff_Monkey, at Buff_Monkey on Twitter, and Buff_Monkey at Reagan.com is my email address. Keep the emails and the messages coming, the topic suggestions, the feedback. Continue to share these Bobcasts if you are finding them helpful. And like I said, I want to remind you that you can change anything about your life with which you are unhappy by simply choosing to do so and understanding that choices have consequences. I'm going to sign off for tonight. One last thing I want to say, let's go Pens. Everybody have a great evening and a great week, and I'll see you on my next Bobcast. Thanks for tuning in.